Hey everyone, this is Akash from DronaHQ, and today we're going to talk about events in DronaHQ. So if you're a developer, you probably already know what events is, but it's basically when you want to perform some particular actions when something particular happens. For example, say whenever a user clicks a button, you want some action to be taken, or whenever a particular quantity changes, you want another action to be taken. So this is where events come to your rescue, and let's see how to utilize it to make your low-code app building journey a lot more smoother. So I already have a simple app set up here. It's an inventory dashboard kind of thing to manage your items. So you can see your sales chart, you can see your bestsellers, and you can view individual items and reorder it. So let me explain how to use events in this scenario to make the whole experience a lot more awesome. So yeah, let's dive right into it. So the first event we're going to look at is the value change event. As you probably inferred from the name, it's used for whenever you want to trigger an action when a particular value in a control changes. So for example, let me show you how I implemented it over here. So I have a product view screen where if a user clicks on any product, he can reorder the product and quickly view the product information. So here I have a quantity control where the user chooses how much quantity he wants to order. And also, by the way, on a side note, for any action, you just click on any control and click on the lightning bolt icon on the right hand side, and you can view a list of all available actions for that particular control. So for the quantity control, here I have my value change action. So what I did over here is if the quantity is more than 500, then I set the discount as 25% and calculate the total accordingly. And if it's not a bulk order, I set the discount as 10% and do it accordingly. But this was possible before control events. You could just use a simple formula in the discount box and you could achieve the same functionality. So what does this control events bring new to the table? So now this actually opens up a full-blown action flow editor over here. So what I can do is I can add any server-side action, I can query any database and do all sorts of powerful actions which I could never do before. So for example, right now, whenever my customer places a bulk order, I want to notify my manager for an approval. So I can simply do that by going to my server-side action, sending a push notification. So who do I want to send it to? My manager. You have to type your manager's username over here and just give it a title, bulk order notification, and you can give him some body. Hi, the bulk order has been placed, please approve it, and continue. You can set it up, just give it a name, send notification. So yes, and in a couple of steps we've already set up a notification system to send notifications to our managers, and if he approves it, we can set up our further tasks here. If he rejects it, we can set it up on the left hand side or in case there's some error. But this is what action flows or control events thereby opens up to us, and the possibilities is huge. So let's just see it live in action. If I save it and preview this page right now, I should wait for it to load and then I can show you. Awesome. Now that it's loaded, I can just change in the quantity control. So if it's 100, for example, you can see the discount applied is 10%, and if it's 1000, then the discount applied will be 25% and the totals are calculated accordingly. So yeah, that's about it. So the next event we are looking at is the focus out event. So again, as usual, if you go back to your actions in the control section, you can find the focus out event. So this is basically used for when a user moves the focus, like when he clicks somewhere else on some other control and thus moves the focus out of some particular control. You can then use it to take some action. Rather, it's the only way to do it for this particular event. So what I did was, whenever the user moves the focus out of the quantity, this was the price control. So whenever the user moves the focus out of the quantity, I move the screen and I set the focus to the checkout button So for an easier user experience, once you set the quantity and everything is set, he can just check the price and check out. You can of course utilize it in long forms where there's a lot of optional fields, and once some particular control is done operating on, you can move the focus around, or you can come up with more creative use cases for it. So yeah, that's about it. The next event we are looking at is the enter press event. So as usual, you can find it in the actions spot, and what it does is, as the name probably implies, when you enter, when you press the button enter, you can set some particular action to take place. So let's see what I did with it. So basically from the product screen, if I decide my quantity, let's say I want to order 100 cyan shirts, and if I go to the checkout, it asks for an OTP here. So what I did is I set an enter press here, so that after entering my OTP, I can directly press the enter button and it will go to the next screen. So rather than moving, of course, it'll also work if you move your cursor and press the place order button. But these are small elements which add up and make the user experience a lot more amazing. So yeah, that was the enter press event. Let's now look at the value selection control. So for demonstrating the purpose of this, I've quickly added a control over here, a selection control. So value selection control is basically when you want a particular action to be triggered when some particular value is selected, you can utilize this. So let's show you how I utilized it over here again, so you can understand better. So I have a drop down button over here where it gives you a choice between what type of shirt you want to order. And let's go and take a look at the value select action. So what I did is I'm checking if the variant chosen is either a limited edition or a standard edition. So if it is a limited edition, if the user wants to purchase a limited edition shirt, I can take some special actions which I couldn't do before. So for example, right now what I've done is I've taken him to a URL which will show him all about the product, more about the product. So let's see if it works or not. I've saved it. Let me preview it. Yep, since it's loaded, the default is standard. So if I change to a limited edition shirt, then okay, you can see a URL is opened up with a limited edition shirt and more details on it. So that was it. You can of course again do all sorts of custom actions you want to take. For example, I can first check in my database whether do I have quantity of limited edition shirts left before sending an approval. Or as always, I can send a notification to my manager for approval. I can send a customized email to the user if he purchases a limited edition shirt saying thank you for supporting him. So the possibilities, as always, are endless. So finally, let me show you how to use the screen open and screen close events. So this is of course can be accessed from the screen page. You click on the screen and go to the properties on the right hand side. It's not yet clicked on the screen. Yeah, so you click on the screen, go to the actions, you can find the screen open and screen close events. Of course, it's most probably self-explanatory. Actions you want to trigger when the screen opens or actions you want to trigger when the screen closes. So the screen open, I did something like I'm coming to this screen, I'm coming to the product view screen from the home screen. So what I'm doing is whenever a user clicks on a particular product, either in the low inventory table or the custom list I've created for the bestsellers, when he clicks this view button or when he clicks on a record on the table grid, it moves to the product view screen to display that individual product. So what I'm doing is whenever he clicks on it, I am storing the product ID in a variable called the product ID. And as soon as it goes to the next screen, the product open screen, and let me just open the screen action so I can show you. So whenever my screen opens, I am setting this product ID control, which is hidden over here. I am setting this product ID control to the value in the variable. So that way I have the particular product the user has selected, And now in all of these controls, I can retrieve the information based on this product ID. So look up for that particular product in my database where the product ID matches the one in the hidden control over here. So that way I can retrieve all my information and display it. This is just one simple use case. Of course, you can create more complex use cases. Out of the top of my head, I can think of stuff like in the previous screen, if the user has logged in, and when he comes to the screen, then you can display the checkout forms and some extra functions. Otherwise, if the user is not logged in, just display the product info and don't display other stuff. So a lot more stuff can be done. Of course, it's a really useful tool. The screen close, of course, functions similar to the screen open. So one place I can think of adding it over here is when I go to my success pop-up, which is get displayed after the OTP confirmation. So when I click on place order, if the OTP is correct, I go to my success pop-up. So when the user closes the success pop-up screen, we can be sure that an order has been placed. So what I am going to do is when I close my success pop-up screen, I can add an action here to update the order details in my internal database. So I can go head over to server-side actions, click on my MongoDB connector to add all the information to my MongoDB database. And that's it. As soon as the user places the order and closes the screen, I've instantaneously updated all of the details in my internal database using the screen close pop-up. So that was it for events. I hope you liked this video. Let us know in the comments what you think of events, and well, you can head over to DronaHQ.com today to try it out live for yourself. And well, stay safe and see you next time.